Kim, we actually have a few highlights of some of your time on these TV shows. And if it's okay with you, we can watch along so we can see some of these moments and you can comment on what happened and what you think about it now. And actually, the first moment that we do have for you to watch is that famous confrontation between you and Phil. So watch, but you can comment along. You can give your view.
Yeah, it's the truth. I tell the truth.
You do.
Go in that house for 24 hours. They sit there and watch it for 45 minutes a night. Then you tell me why I was annoyed.
Just asking you a question.
No, you're not, Phil. No, you were not at the beginning. Should have had Phil here and stayed neutral, in my opinion.
No. It's only asking questions. That's our job.
Is that the way you do it?
That's our job.
Well, Harley hasn't said a word that I would...
Well, what I'm going to say is thank you very, very much. It's been lovely having you here
What
today.
a delight to see you.
I'm so sorry you feel that
You're
way.
big phony.
So what happened after that, Kim?
I just walked out. He's a little shit, isn't he? I'm sorry, folks. I did say shit. Oh, no. Look, you saw his attitude. He was Mickey-taking. He was totally Mickey-taking. Oh, but Kim, I only said he was laughing his socks off at me when he picked the wrong one, the piece of filth. He wasn't in that house. He doesn't know what went on. And you didn't play the bit where he said, what did you earn? I thought, what do you earn? He's an innocent little puppy. I liked him at one time. You're a good presenter, Phil. You got too cocky and forgot your manners, and I'm glad you're gone, you little pig.
Well, what's interesting, Kim, is you started, in a way, the downfall because you were the first person who actually, on air, called Phillip Schofield out. Because lots of people had had that treatment from him in the past, but no one had actually called him out on air, live, in front of the nation.
People want... Look, people, for some reason, you're so foolish, you people. You want to be seen as perfect. You never put away. You'd be thought more of if you'd all speak up and tell the truth. Why do you never tell the truth? You know what Phil was like. You know what he was like. I'll stand up for him. For this young man, I don't think he did anything wrong. Consensual sex between adult age, nothing wrong at all. So if you think it might surprise you, in fairness to him, nothing to do with you and I. He became obnoxious.
So you're not just you're attacking him for the way he treated people on air, not because of his sex life behind the scenes.
Oh, not at all. Look, he can do a frog that stops jumping to it. It's not my damn business. I mean, if he wants to do with the frog in the garden and they enjoy each other, lovey, the day I get it, that's his own business. And we've got to get these facts right. I mean, you know, if I want to go and do a few Chippendales, I mean, I'm at the age and so are they. Good luck to me. I don't want to do me at 82, do, would they? When I've made a few applications, they haven't replied. No, but seriously, your sex life, if it's consensual in adults, it's got nothing to do with any of you people, you know. But he became obnoxious and nasty and cocky and hurtful. And he was aided and abetted by the channel he worked for.
Oh, yes.
So I blame the channel.
They covered up so much for him, ITV. That was the problem. And
I hated that, the Queen. Do you know what?
When they skipped the queue.
Now, look, I have two dear friends. They're my mates. Two gay guys live together. They're lovely. They're my best mates in the world. One of them had a bad accident years ago, so he doesn't need a wheelchair unless he stands for a long time, but he can't do it. They queued up for 6 hours. And in the end, the John Ambulance came along and saw they were struggling and said, we were giving people wheelchairs. They were jolly helpful, John Ambulance. And they sent us a photograph. Here we are, still in the queue in a wheelchair. There, my friend, he was sitting there. I saw that day in the paper, Holly Willoughby and Phillip going across this field, crowds in the back, some in wheelchairs, have been there hours on end. And she was laughing and giggling at the back of Phil, and he was laughing and giggling. They sneaked in. They put on press tags, which was given them by Frizzell. Right, let's
the editor of the show, yes.
They sneaked in and they were photographed. They wanted to be seen that they cared about the Queen so much. They queued for hours. Stopped, you didn't. And she was 100% part of it. Has she ever been reprimanded? What sort of girl who sits her sweetness and light will go in front of people in wheelchairs, sneak in and see the Queen lying in state, and she leaves behind people in wheelchairs? I'm not queuing up to see the Queen. The Queen's not worth queuing up for. It was disgusting. And she lied and she lied and she lied. She's as bad as Phil. She's a little horror.
Kim, then you went on Big Brother. So the next clip I actually want to look at is this argument that you had with
naughty man, Dan.
Nicola
You're going to get me a bad
McLean.
name, you.
So this was with Nicola McLean in the house. Well, no, Kim, because people want to hear what actually happened, because people still talk about these things now. So let's have a look at this.
I get in the street? Do I get in the street now?
And you can
How's
commentate
Nicola?
along.
Shut up. I get that now. How's Nicola? Shut your gobs.
So let's have a look at this, Kim. And you can
Never going to
commentate
leave,
along.
is it?
I said, there are nasty, vicious, horrible people,
Vile.
and I don't particularly want to meet them. I told them that. When I met you, you're just lovely. So stop your
told you
bloody
that,
troublemaker,
didn't I?
Mother
I
McRae.
told you.
You're a little sir,
I
aren't
told you you'd like them, didn't I? Then?
Oh, so you're Mrs. Right, are you? You see, you would love that to have been real. Oh, you're lighting up.
Nick.
We were having a joke.
No, then.
He said,
What?
go on, Kim. Stop
are you
it.
talking
Grow up, madam.
I'm asking you what you're talking about.
Shut up. Don't play the innocence with me. You've caused most of this trouble in here with your little gang. Don't start with me.
And you felt really bullied in that house, didn't you, Kim?
Oh, I was totally bullied. And you know, an older woman. And I wouldn't, but it really got, and I wouldn't think it would get to me, but I was bullied by all of them. They even took my necklace. I wear lots of jewellery. It went missing. And
Is
I always
it
put my
hard to
jewellery
see,
in a,
is it hard to see that?
it's very, Dan, honestly, I can't, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I've never been the same since. You see, I was born into a very unhappy family. There was no affection. There was nothing. I won't go into it. I was treated very brutally. And I've always been a loner, Dan. Believe it, I'm a loner. I don't mix with many people. I've never thought people were going to do me any good, Dan. They were going to. And when I went to the Big Brother house, I'd never found myself with all those people on my own in my whole life. You notice you don't see me out with loads of people. Because people I find very unkind. So when I was in that house, I found it hard to cope with the fact that I knew they were mocking me. I knew they were taking the mickey out of me. I knew they were enjoying it. And I felt powerless. And I got plenty of money. Now, you know, why did I go in there, folks? I didn't have to go in. I got paid a shed load of money. I could have bought a small terraced house with the money they paid me. I've been poor. I thought this will also go towards me retiring. I won't be on telly much longer. Didn't have to do it. I did it for the money. But by God, I suffered for the money.
Well, of
And
course.
I will tell you something. Those people in that house, most of them were scum. Scum.
Yeah. And then, Kim.
I won't take it back. And I'll tell you what happened, Dan. This will shock you.
Yeah.
It was a young man who I can't name. Okay. He's always been on the set because I've many a times gone on to comment on the desk. Many times to be behind the desk. And that young man, yeah. And that young man, of course I wouldn't name. He was staff. And you know, he came up to me and he had a tear in his eye. I couldn't believe it, Dan. He said, Kim, he said, I'm not going to put you sitting with them. You know, they'd come out and they're all sitting on one side. He said, can I say something to you, Kim? And he said, I'm so sad. What's wrong? He said, well, we've been going back and forth, me and the other staff in the green room taking drinks and that, when they were all in there waiting to come on stage the last night. He said, Kim, I would never tell you, and I will never forget as long as I live what they were saying about you. He said, Kim, it was vile. He said, Kim, it was so vile. I've never heard anything like the lot of them in there saying the most putrid, vile things about you, Kim, cruel and brutal. He said, we were going in and out serving drinks, he said. He said, vitriolic cruelty and brutality. He said, Kim, I've never told you what they said. He said, but there's a young man on this set I will never forget it. So he said, I'm not going to put you with them. And he took a chair and he put it over the. He said, because I don't want you near them. And you notice he put a chair. That's how vile they were. So,
and then
I have not.
No, and then you made this brave decision, though, to go and face off with Coleen Nolan live on her show Loose Women. And this became one of the most iconic viral TV clips in the history of British TV. You've got to hear about this. As I entered my 40s and started to realize that I needed to stop the aging process as much as possible, I decided to prioritize my health and focus on staying sharp and fit. So I'm exercising virtually every day, taking my nutrition seriously with the 16-8 fast. But scientists like David Sinclair have proven we can now reverse aging with interventions that actually go beyond healthy habits. So I wanted a product that would enhance everything I was already doing, but also one backed up by solid evidence. So I chose to use Cell Being by Verso, which has scientifically proven ingredients that fight the effects of aging by increasing NAD+ levels, which is the stuff that powers every cell in your body. I've been taking the product for a number of months now, right at the start of my day, and it has been genuinely transformative. I've found fasting so much easier, and I'm eating less too. And the team at Verso tell me that's actually due to the product's blood sugar regulating effects, which lead to fewer cravings. I'm sleeping better, waking up with more energy, and feeling happier too. So I'd love you to experience this product, which has taken years off me. So Verso publishes third-party testing from each batch produced to guarantee you are getting what you're paid for, and I'm very excited to say that to Mark. Verso being the first ever sponsor of Outspoken, they have a very special offer for you. If you head right now to buy.ver.so/outspoken, you will save 15% on your first order. All you need to do is use the coupon code outspoken. I'll put the link in our YouTube and Rumble description, but to repeat, buy.ver.so/outspoken using the coupon code outspoken, because you
May I
wouldn't
mention this to
take
you,
it
Dan?
lying
When
down.
they asked me to go, no, let me mention this is the filth of television. I mean, I made money, but the filthy sods. When they rang my agent, they said, I was shocked. Would Kim come on television on the show? I said, no. No, just a minute. Coleen Nolan wants to chat with you about what happened and try to find some reconciliation. I said, they said, honestly, the least you do is give her a chance. She's not out in any shape nor form to upset you. She knows it was wrong and she wants to put it right. I thought, so I went on. Dan, it was lies. It was total lies.
Well, let's look at what happened, because then you can tell us. But they basically put you on trial, Kim. They had Janet Street Porter-Jest as a judge. But let's have a look and you can comment on it as we go.
It's terrible.
Right. And don't go by people you see on television. Please don't do that, folks. Don't go by what you see on television, a demure person.
No, please do, because that's what we lived with for 3 weeks.
I lose my temper, but I've got a good heart and soul.
Well,
she sits there.
Okay,
she's as hard as nails.
You've had your
Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. Don't do it. She's a con artist.
And they try and shut you down.
I wouldn't want to sit and talk to lying
Well, I
trash
think
like
that's
you.
sad. I think we should have lied.
Yeah, not good.
So you think what you like?
That's a terrible thing to say.
You're showing yourself in your true colours, Kim. You are showing yourself in your true colours.
She is trash.
She wants to draw a line.
She is trash.
No, she isn't.
Anyone that would stand in a group of 7 people and bully.
Wow. I mean, it was quite
Dan,
a moment.
it was terrible. And another thing, her sister.
Yeah.
You see, when
Who
I
was
walked
there
out
next
there,
to
I
her.
thought, when I walked out there, I thought, I've been lied to. Because there was Janet Street Porter with a judge's what have you. And I thought, this is a Mickey take. I thought, this is not to settle anything. I'm being stitched up. Then I saw her, that thing of a sister, who was leaning on her shoulder, mocking me. She was going, I thought, what is this? They'd set me up, that TV company. They told me it was a peaceable. Why was her sister, you've never seen since, on with her, leaning on her shoulder, sniggering at me, Dan? She was mocking me, sniggering as I was a piece of filth. There was Janet Street Water with this damn thing. Dan, they set me up. They wanted a show. They bloody got one. They set me up.
They did.
And when I'll never forget, and it's a hard thing to say, I was very upset. And I said that they continue this. They would continue this. I thought, you cruel pigs. I went on, and when I said, and I watched the film after, I don't know how she could have been so evil. The sister with her head on her shoulder. When I said, I have had a very hard, brutal life. When I played the film back after, I saw that bitch of a sister leaning on her sister, going, you know, Dan, you don't call them evil people. You really don't call them evil people. When a person is broken down and she is going...
Yeah, you were going through hell then, and you were trying to open up to them about why you felt the way that you did, and it was very, very personal, and they just wanted to shut you up the moment that you didn't play their game. And I think you're right, they were out to humiliate you, but actually you were able to expose them, which was what was so beautiful about it.
But the thing was, though, it's always been said, though, I mean, lovely Emma Willis, so
yeah, she's lovely, absolutely.
Oh, what a lovely, folks, she's lovely. She said to me, she always says on the show, when she was on the show, you'd hear her say when I was watching from home, they don't like people that go in that house late. They don't like it. They feel as if they're not doing a good job. Have they had to put somebody in to place up? So there's always a resentment. And then there's always, oh, is she getting the same money as me? But she's doing 2 weeks later. There's so much resentment, she said. That's what I put up with. I mean, you know what? I'm a tough nut, but I'm a kind woman. I'm kind. I wouldn't hurt anybody for the world.
No.
I wouldn't. I'm a softie. I'm a right old softie. But what they put me through, and yes, you can know this, folks, all of you pigs that were in there, rotten, filthy pigs. I've never got over it. It has affected me.
Yeah.
My husband will tell you. But
So
you know
sad.
what? It has affected me. It has affected me. But you know what? I wouldn't want your consciences that you must have, although I doubt you have. You're a bunch of rotten pigs. You were utterly cruel, you were ruthless, and you enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it
So,
wasn't your
no
first
good luck to any.
it wasn't your first reality show, Kim, because you had been on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where you had this fascinating exchange with Katie Price. Watch this.
You're a publicity seeker. You live and die for publicity, and you do it well. It's Shakespeare once said, we fear you protesters too much.
What do you mean?
You do publicity very well, and you protest all the time, but you love it.
So you're wrong. Did you know No,
You're a
I
twi-
used to love it.
You know when you've come into the jungle twice.
Yeah.
And you're escaping. You've got 12 million people watching every night, and you know when you've been down a couple of times there, you know how to. Katie, please don't. I'm too old for this. You've got a lovely body, but don't pretend you hate it. You love it, dear.
No, of course I know. I love
You
my
came
job.
up from the shower the other day, and as a woman of 6 I thought, grow up.
I
came
absolutely love my
yes,
job.
well, please say you do. Don't insult my intelligence.
I
You
didn't
went to
say
the
I
shower-
didn't.
You went to the shower the other day, and you know you've got to go. You know the men love it. I can imagine you're in that shower doing all this business.
No, actually, you was wrong.
It's all over the front of the papers. You could dip yourself in the pond just as well.
But I didn't in the show.
please
Actually,
don't.
ask Camilla. I had my
Katie,
best
you
on.
love it, darling. You love it, and I don't blame you. For some reason, you fascinate the papers. Go for it as long as you can, but don't pretend you're not causing a lot of it, please.
How did you two get on, Kim?
Smash it. She never, that kid never, she spoke, she'd been chatted away. I was telling the truth, wasn't I? Come on, I was absolutely telling the truth.
You were. You actually summed up the psychology of Katie Price perfectly, and I think it took her aback
And
a
look
little
what's
bit. because
going
you
on
weren't
now,
being
Dan.
cruel.
Dan, look what's going on now with Katie Price.
I
She's
know.
still, but I don't dislike Katie.
No,
We
she's a
sat
decent enough
after-
person.
But Katie knew, I mean, what I said was 100% the truth. It's going on now, and she's 46, 45. It's going on now. But she's always been, but she never held it against me, because honestly, she'd chat to me, and she looked at me as much to say, you know, much to say, yeah, Kim, yeah. Credit to her. No, but Don't sit there and say, I don't know why people are interested. Oh, behave yourself. Behave yourself. But I was told that to this day, years later, this was 2009, she's now still seeking all the publicity she can in the papers, not blaming her, but don't say, I don't know I'm in the paper. Oh, get off, Kate, for God's sake. Do it.
Indeed. Okay, Kim, I've got one final clip, and this is my personal favourite of you. It's back on this morning. I don't even know if you remember it, but there was this comedian called Kate Smurthwaite, and she used to come on my GB News show as well. And this one was probably the least funny comedian. I mean, I actually think we need to have her up on the Trade Descriptions Act, because she never said anything funny as far as I was concerned. But you two were having a debate about whether you should be able to call people darling or not. And she said, oh, absolutely not. This betrays all feminist sensibilities. And you put her in your place. Watch this.
Dear, what is the harm? What is wrong with you, woman? We are living on this earth today.
Yeah,
and you had your 5. Shut up. We're living on this earth today. Stop it. You won't change me. You're looking
Before you tear their heads off.
But Kim, no, it's lovely. And you see a little old lady sitting there earning a few bob, and she says, "Hello, darling," and you say, "Don't call me darling."
But
Get a life.
You're quite right. Of course, there are bigger issues. You know, I'm not suggesting.
I hope you realise that. I was worrying.
But hold on a minute. If you're so sure there are bigger issues, why did you decide to come on national TV and talk about this one?
Because
you like to talk about the war in Syria? Because I've got some points about the way the rebels have been on.
I tell you what, ladies, you can both discuss that over a nice cup of tea.
That you would come on and want to discuss, and I'm defending and saying, don't pick on people that don't mean any harm to you at all.
No. Quite right. But people are going to watch this. Please, folks, don't, when you watch this, think, is Kim always right? I don't think, but I think on these things I say I am. If I say to an old lady, hello, my love, how you doing? And her little face lights up. What is wrong with being nice and trying to show a little something? What is wrong with us? But, oh, folks. And there she's sitting there. Oh, please, I can't even. Do you know what? There's more important things to discuss. Our health, our families, our loved ones, things that are of paramount importance. Why do we get involved in all this absolute tripe? What is wrong with you? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Kim.
I may appear, I'm a kind person.
You are.
Do you know what, my love? But I tell it like it is, because what's the point of doing anything else? Let's stop falsifying and lying and covering things we know should be exposed. Stop!
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please do subscribe if you want lots more clips and interviews like that. Plus, if you want to watch our totally uncensored after show, then visit www.outspoken.live.